3, 2, 1, go. That's what Ann said to do. 3, 2, 1, go. That's what we're gonna do. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, it's time for Atomic Mass Games Live. Boo!
Ba-da-da.
Ba-da-da. Oh. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. As in, we're still alive and recuperating from a Adepticon. Kind of.
Mostly.
Mostly. Hopefully you have too.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I'm gonna be real honest. I got all inspired at Adepticon with all the amazing entries from the worthy. One entry actually made me tear. You can ask Simone Elliott. I had a tear in my eye. I had a little moment with it. But I got all inspired and philosophical and thinking about miniatures and how we display them, not just for the tabletop and for the rotations and the photography and all that stuff and the boxes and all that, but like the reverence of miniatures. And it's something I kind of like started thinking about last year with the other, and you weren't ready for this at all, were you? Like, you had no idea where I was.
I'm always ready for whatever you have to give, Dallas.
We're just going on adventure day. But I really appreciated so many entries focusing on the three-dimensional element of miniatures and allowing me to go around the miniature and view it. And, the back isn't always the fun part, but it's still part of the miniature, and there's still a lot of love and, heart put into the sculptor and the painter that sculpts and paints those trapeziuses and all that stuff. So I really wanted to just jump right in and start working on a display piece for myself. And I got, crazy enough, Spider-Man. And I was like, well, I got this, I went and dug through my giant drawer of miscast and cut up wood. This has actually been puttied and polished and is ready to go. This piece of wood is actually smooth like glass. I've sanded it so well, and you can see actually there's some pencil lines from other ideas, and then I just never used it for whatever reason. So I just have a bunch of these laying around, and I was like, well, I could do Sandman fighting Spider-Man. And I was like, I really want to use the Spider-Man from the Earth's Mightiest core set, but his back is to me. So like Sandman's front, Spider-Man's back. And I was like, but that's the joy of it, right? Like I was talking to my partner, and she was just like, well that's part of your conversation that you want to have, is to turn it around. And I was like, oh yeah. So like and I got to work today. And I was looking at this, and I looked up on my shelf, and I have another project that I'm in the works on. And this is the handle for it. This is just my paint handle for big projects. And I was like, well, I know this is my paint handle. It's just a wood dowel, but if I cut this down, and now it's round. And because it's round, it's really going to invite the viewer to transverse the scene more. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take a whole bunch of junk that I had laying about, and we're going to make a Sandman, Spider-Man display piece. That's it. What do you think of that, yo? It's going to be crazy.
It is interesting because your point about the round dowel being more inviting to 360 degrees than like the flat sides of the square, which has quote unquote a front, a side, and a back.
Yeah, it defines angle, it defines a view, and we want to remove that definition and re-invite people to spin the miniature. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is just glue Sandman right now with some super glue. Hello, Ion Radio. Hello, TK. Hello, Mr. Ritz. Seeker. L. Half-phased Ninja, everybody. Heck yeah, this is gonna be good, Brush Wizard. Brush Wizard, first time chat. I feel like Brush Wizard said stuff before. So now I gotta start thinking about how I'm gonna adapt this. And I think I wanna crank this up. I got some 2-part epoxy. And I'm gonna drag it down and let the sand break the frame of the cylinder, because I think that will also help create that inviting nature. And I got some bits. So you see, like, there's stop sign from the train set. There's an extra She-Hulk bit. There's a barrel from one of the rivals. Fire hydrant? Maybe a fire hydrant back here? That might be kind of cool, actually.
What did you use to adhere Sandman to the dowel? Any
super glue?
Yeah, just super glue.
Just super glue. Click clack. Yeah, we're just gonna start sticking some stuff on there. Uh-oh. Yeah, I put my tape on my thing.
Did we get you some water for stream today? I can go grab you some.
I have a coffee, and Simone went and bought some lunch and offered to bring me a cookie, and I should have said, hey, I will also take a delicious warm beverage, a cappuccino, one might say. We're just gonna start sticking some bits on here, cause that's the kind of madness I like. I don't think a whole mailbox goes on there though. Or a satellite from Weapon X. The water spray from, no, that's the magic effect. No, that's the water spray from Crystal. I just want some extra stuff sticking out here and there to really add to the kind of chaos and madness of the scene. What is the springtime version of a pumpkin spice latte? I don't know. I just want some chaos on there. Doesn't need to be too much. So if Sandman's like that, Spider-Man's gonna be like this. No. This pin seems a little big. I don't think I want to use that pin. Okay, I'll have to pin Spider-Man at a different time. So what I'll do is I'll do a pin and then use some putty. How far out should it go? It should be aiming for the hand or the face. What do you think, chat? Is it diorama Rama Day with Sandman? Diorama Rama.
I think it's like when it comes to the hand or the face, right? It's like, what is Spidey trying to do? If he gets the hand, is he pulling it down so it doesn't hit him? If he gets the face, is he blinding him?
Face feels more classic, right?
Yeah.
Like blinding Sandman so you can't see, because like Spider-Man's not here to
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, just beat up somebody.
I feel like the blind action is great because if you know that someone's going to be a heavy hitter with them big sand fists.
Them big sand fists. Them big sand fists. And actually, we can use we might be able to use some of this venom goo. Or is he shooting past Sandman to pull something down on him? Oh. Yeah, Spider-Man goes for eyes and mouth always, right? Because Spider-Man's the chatty one. Like, maybe we can do something with this, like, little venom goop.
Yeah, I almost feel like communicating the pull of something from behind him to hit him in the back of the head or something
Could be pretty cool.
would need another piece, right, to be pulling
Yeah, like
to communicate that.
some sign or something behind him.
Yeah. But it's again, one of the cool things about projects like this is thinking the narrative out.
So even though this is venomy goopy, I think with a little sculpting I can make it more Sandman-y. This project is not going to be done today, just an FYI. This is like months of work. But I was excited and inspired, so I thought, why not? Just count to 20 and the plastic will melt together. And then what I'm going to do to like hide all these seams and stuff is I'm going to use this 2-part epoxy. But then I'm going to use pumice to kind of create texture. And that way it's extra cheaty. And it's way easier. Will we see future streams with this project on different stages of completion? Or if it's not on streams, I'll probably at least document it and put it in like a blog format because we've been doing a lot of blogs lately. I'm sure Anne's not going to let me get out of this without doing work.
Nah.
Nah.
I like to put Dallas to work.
Put me to work. I have like 3 projects on my desk that I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I forgot we have one that's coming in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that
Hey,
one.
we should talk about that after stream. We got this.
We got this. We got this.
We can do it.
Pulling a stop sign feels very Peter Parker. You should really obey the signs. Top 3 Adepticon moments? Oh, man. I don't know. Does the churro at the restaurant count?
It was a pretty good moment.
That was a really
I
good.
won't lie.
That was a really good churro. I don't know if anybody else had the churro. Cupcakes is always number 1. That's a cheat though, because Molly's Cupcakes at Adepticon is always number 1. I'm just really getting this 2-part epoxy.
I know one of my top moments was just being at the prize wall and giving people cool stuff for playing games. Like, I know that sounds really simple, but
play games, get
Andrea
stuff.
Andrea in chat and a lot of folks here worked hard on stuff for that prize wall, so it was cool to see it actually, people asking for things specifically that, have been made. So
It was rad.
yeah.
Smash, smash, smash. A little water on this putty. This 2-part epoxy. This can be pretty rough right now. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. I was wondering why it felt so dark. Like I said, this doesn't need to be sand textured yet because we're going to use texture paste to like really emphasize that later. But I just want to create some motion. To work with and some big shapes to play with of this sand twisting around. Shout out to Andrea. Yep, Andrea got that prize wall. A lot of people worked on the prize wall, but Andrea definitely large and in charge. A lot of cool art made by the art boys, Preston and Josh. Those really neat widgets. Some cool cards and stuff.
Justice did a lot of work on like the lanyards and the and the measuring tools for all the lines. Like it was a pretty big team effort. Everybody had a part to play for sure.
It takes a team. Don't let anybody tell you it takes one person to do this stuff. It takes a team. It takes a dedicated team of individuals who are all excited and passionate about the crazy nonsense that we have to come up with and get made. And
did you get to stop by the timeline event at all, Dallas?
I did not.
One of my top moments was just walking by and seeing all of the miniatures that people had to bring for that.
So many miniatures to play in timeline.
Yeah. That was really cool. There was also somebody who had a display board that I really liked that was very like Central Parky and had like Central Park on top and then a subway station down below.
Down below. Oh, I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, I think I took some. I might have sent them to you. I can't remember, but yeah, there were a lot of cool display boards out there.
I want to see more display boards, kids.
Yeah, honestly, the secret to our hearts, display boards.
100%. 100%.
Seeing stuff from MCP in the Adepticon was really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, top 3 moments. That's always hard for me because there's a young fella I see every year named I won't say his name. Young fella I see every year, and he always, I swear this kid's going to someday grow up and take my job from me. He challenges me every time. He's just like, yeah, I saw what you did. It was fine. I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy. My wife made a sign to cheer our friend on in the timeline event. That's awesome. entries are always a big moment for me. Just seeing what people, like, I'm such a miniature nerd in the first place. And so seeing what stories people come up with and tell with the miniatures is always just so awesome to see. Like, just, man, just fellow named Rico had a Guardians of the Galaxy entry and didn't repose anybody, but it just really, I was just like, oh, that is exactly what we were thinking when we posed the Guardians, and you took it and you like brought it to life in a single scene, right? It's like, it's exactly like what we were imagining them looking like, you know, when we did the individual poses. But he took those individual poses and placed them across a scene together, and it like really just sold the story so well, and that was really exciting to see. So we're gonna break the frame here. We're just gonna want that putty to kind of.
Now, I know what break the frame means, but just in case there are people in chat who don't know what it means, what's that all about?
So when I think of miniatures, when we talk about miniatures in the studio, I always talk about how, like, the base is the frame of the painting. So you want a really nice base to frame the miniature. So, like, you know, the Mona Lisa, you know, is the Mona Lisa. But if you put it in a Walmart poster frame, yeah. But if you have a really nice frame. So when I'm talking about the frame here is the plinth. And it's that cylinder. If you just follow that cylinder up, right, that creates the frame of the art. But for this, instead of keeping everything in frame, I'm going to break it. I want the putty to extend the shape and form of the Sandman to break out and go over the frame of the plinth. We're just going to keep working that, and I need a better paddle. We're just going to work it till we get the shapes we want. Oh, see, it shouldn't actually break frame too much here. There's no motion. But where it's motion, I want it peeling down. So I really want to exaggerate it here. Right? Blend this together. The people next door are super loud today. I'll have to go have a talk with them. So we're discussing frames, not your sales quotas. So I want it to look like the sand is zooping up. Injured side Sandman hints? Not from me. I'm the wrong person to ask that. You done joined the wrong day. We're doing hobby.
Citizen, keep your eye. It sounds like I'm like citizen.
Citizen.
Keep your eyes posted on social, because that's where we post the transmissions when we do character previews, and you'll get more of a sense of things there.
Citizen, stand down. So I think I want more back here too. I think I really want to push this side, because that's going to be that part that draws you to spin the miniature around. He's the Sandman. You like Sandman? He's like, yes. Putty in the brick, putty in the brick. Get rid of that, putty in the brick. Everybody got real quiet. What happened?
I think we're mesmerized by the sculpting vibes.
The vibes. All right, so if the sand is rolling up this way and dragging that, then it should be less in the front of... like that. It should be piling up, like dragging. Do
you have any tips for folks looking to like practice this type of skill, like the additional sculpting with putty and stuff?
The tip I always give is the one that no one wants. Get a miniature and screw it up. It's the best tip I got. Is just get a miniature, get an idea in your head, maybe sketch the idea out, and you don't have to be a good drawer to sketch it out. Like you're just trying to like make sure the idea works. I typically do a lot of blue tacking as well. You know, this was pretty spontaneous this week. I just kind of started riffing and just came up with this idea, pretty off the cuff. But like if I like the one I did last year, Spider-Man versus Green Goblin, there was a lot of the wrong Spider-Man at first. I was using the wrong Spider-Man, and a lot of like blue tack and toothpicks, and it looked like what's that called? What's the contraptions called?
Scaffolding?
No, there's a contraption that doesn't actually do anything.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man, somebody's gonna say it. Somebody's gonna say it.
Chat, help.
It's a contraption that doesn't do anything. It's all the time in the old cartoon. Rube Goldberg machine.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
So it always looks like a Rube Goldberg machine. Like it's just like toothpicks and blue tack and the wrong Spider-Man faced the wrong direction. But no, you gotta imagine he's facing this direction. No, for real. And then you move him around, and like I kind of like do a lot of that as sketching. So like get the idea in your head and then just start doing it. Just try and and you know, you're not going to do great, and that's okay. But you might surprise yourself, and you're going to learn a lot of lessons, and then you can get feedback, of course, and learn what you did and how to do it better. So I mean, to me, the best experience and the best teacher is doing, right? There's no, well, you should read page 47
Sure.
of Rube Goldberg's How to Make Miniature Dioramas, and like that will explain it, right? Like it just doesn't exist. You got to get in there and tell your story, and mess with putty and
see how it moves.
See how it moves. Push it around. I
imagine a great starting place is doing kind of a little bit of what you're working on here, which is blending a base with whatever, or blending the miniature with whatever base you're putting it on.
Yeah, this is like the easiest stuff. Is like I'm just blending it together, right? I'm not trying
just
anything
to see how
crazy.
What the consistency is, right? And
then or making
challenge from there.
Making new like make new bases for your Marvel Crisis Protocol, right? Like just take the base and cover it with putty and make a new scene. Will give you a starting point on how putty works. You know, maybe make a space base for a Marvel Crisis Protocol squad, right? You know, your roster. Like, I'm going to do a space roster. If you go way back, in the way back of the internet, you can find a couple of us, me and Schick especially, did like a little, you know, sort of a what if sort of crew, and he did 10 characters, I did 10 characters, and we themed them on just that roster, and then we played against each other, and the whole thing was like, you know, was rebasing and painting a roster to be themed, and then we actually themed them to each other, which is how I ended up with a I think Punisher with the Infinity Gauntlet like miniature in my collection. It's just totally converted. It's just, oh no, it's Star-Lord with the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, you just get in there. I'm not a sculptor. Man, if I sculpted something, Marco would reject it. Marco would be like, bro, you are, no, you're not a sculptor. What are you doing? Please go back and do your regular job. But I do push the putty around, and, you know, I try stuff out and you know, do the easy stuff, you know, change the bases, or, you know, I'll repose a leg and, you know, cover the gap, and it can be intimidating, it can be scary, but everything is at first, right? Like, that's just life, is a series of scary things that you don't know how to do, and then you learn how to do it. What a wise ancient person once said, you know, sucking at something is the first step of maybe getting good at it. There's actually a dog that said that, but we all know that. We all know. The wisest of dogs. Like, I'm just shoving stuff around. Didn't you do the Mephisto? That's what Schick said. No, everybody misunderstood Schick. I did not sculpt the Mephisto. That's not what he said. I said that Mephisto is like, that Mephisto sculpt is like Greek statuary. Like homina. It is.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Like, I can't wait
Can I also say I'm so glad we can talk about Mephisto? Like,
Yeah, it took a while
he's so dope.
to get that one over the finish line.
He's so dope. No, I did not sculpt Mephisto. I have raved about that sculpt since getting it, and just think it's Greek statuary. It's just so good. And actually Brendan said that whenever he did the studio paint job, he was just like, dude, this is Greek statuary. And I am frothing to paint this miniature.
You know, what's interesting to me about it, too, is that literally at every stage, people were thrilled by it. So, like, when we do our pass-off from one part of the team to the next, every single person who touches it at whatever stage they enter the process is just like, oh, my gosh.
Look at this thing.
I ended up getting multiple photos from Matt just because he was so obsessed with like what Brendan had done and just what it could be captured on camera.
Yeah.
And I had such a ball, you know, working with him on the photography. So when that comes out, I think people are going to be really excited.
Yeah, I think so. So this is just like painting, right? This is refining and defining, right? We sort of block in a shadow and a highlight, and then we just keep shaping till we get the shapes we like. I have shapes that I like. I have shapes that are my comfort shapes, shall we say, that I look at and I go, those are my shapes. So I just kind of incorporate those into things. It's a lot of the way materials move. The wings on Angel and Archangel are so good. Yes, that's true. And I think the other thing I want to do is, as I define this sand line, I do want to create a harder line for me to work with so I can cut that black. When I paint this plinth black, it'll have a perfect line of sand to black. Well, no, you know what? We're going to blend. It's going to blend. It's going to blend. The black and the sand are all going to blend together. You're not going to know where the plinth ends and the Sandman begins. I like that. This is a little piece of wood. Nothing fancy. Watch this. The other thing that's real fancy here. Those fingers work really good. Don't be afraid to use your fingers. And this is all just the very first step. We have so many steps to go to make this happen, right? I think it needs more putty. Dragging down. I want to check my Spider-Man again. I think if the Spider-Man kind of pokes out this direction. So he's going counter. Yeah, that's going to read really nice. Yeah, Sunspot was super cool to work with too. Kind of coming up with that that energy blast beam situation was really fun. So what I want to do here, well, I want some sand like coming off his fist. Just to create extra motion. I think that's something we need to play with. Big thing also, be careful of like touching the wet putty, so. Yeah, Sunspot looks super sweet. That was, I think Josh really was fighting for Sunspot, if I remember right. But Josh fights for everything. I think I want sand like dripping this way from this hand. So we're just gonna build up a little bit. This takes time. I can't just sculpt sand. So I want to just get some putty on there to start forming the shape. Smash it like a fish fin. Probably need a little more putty, but we can do it in layers. Get that where we want it. I just want that ridge of sand like sliding off his hand as he swings his hand. That poor Spidey. Poor Spidey. I think we need more sand here. Just push that one more time. Creating that twist and current. The Sandman cometh. What's on Ames? Oh, Ultron next. Shang-Chi looks super fun. Very excited to see what other types of shenanigans are on the back of that car. Oh, the back. Shang-Chi's dope. All right, so I like the extra I-beam. I think it gives something to that side, and like that twist is going to invite people to turn this miniature. The additional fire hydrant, of course, is super. Like that, that's going to add a pop of red that's going to draw the eye as you catch it, and also is going to add that pop of red to match Spider-Man. So I think that's a good bit. I'll have to cut this down. I think it's too tall. I don't know. Maybe it's nice being this tall. I definitely have to cut down because this is not square. This was literally a paint handle. So I have to be super careful and put this in my chop saw with the miniature attached.
Yeah, I was like, hey, that's a wild decision.
No, I'm going to do it though.
I know you are.
Yeah. Look, I give good advice, but I don't follow my advice. You should definitely have this chopped down before you do it. But I found this today. What am I going to do? Run home and get my chop saw?
Inspiration strikes when it strikes.
Yeah, it's just like, this is the right thing. I'm going to do the thing today. I'm going to show it on stream. And then, I will figure out at home.
I wonder.
With much stress on how to chop it off.
I wonder what happens if you chop it at an angle.
Oh, he'll lean.
Right. Is that nothing?
Is that
anything?
Is that a thing? The leaning tower of Sandman's?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you would have to make gravity different.
I mean, you could lean a little bit. I'm gonna do it straight. But I think you could do a leaned one though.
That's a problem for future Anne.
I think you gotta plan it.
Yeah.
That sounds like some engineering, and I'm not an engineer or a sculptor. That is.
Listen, me neither. But now I have a fun project.
Yeah. Now I want to see your leaned. It's got the lean. I want to see your leaned display plinth piece because I'm in for it. It needs some more bricks, and I don't have bricks with me. I have bricks at home. But I think I want to keep accentuating a little bit more of the sand twist. I like this one, and I like this one. This one, not so much. I like that's not here, so I might sand that away. Right? That's just part of the process, right? But the goal is to have Sandman fighting Spider-Man and invite people to turn around. I'm probably going to chop it off about right here, nice and flat. And then this will all be primed black. This will be a nice black. And then I'll have this blended when we go to paint this, which will blend down into the black, the sand. This needs to twist way down, doesn't it? I feel.
I do think going around to where the hydrant is interesting. Are sand twists your comfort shape?
Yeah. I like swoopy shapes. This is why I get a kick out of drawing capes.
Totally.
And then I get in trouble for drawing them too big.
I think similarly, I always got in trouble in art class for drawing hair too like dramatique because it was a swoopy shape.
It's a swoopy shape. I do the dramatic hairs too. Like if you look at some concepts, like the hair is always like pa-ta-ta, pa-tow. Thoughts on making the base of the plinth on a pile of sand? I mean, yeah, you could sculpt the whole like plinth like he's just like the whole plinth is sand. There's something about black plinths that to me it's that frame of the painting, right? It's that little art bit that makes it elegant. So I always like having a nice black. I'm gonna get crazy back here. We're gonna invite people to the back. We might as well show them a good time, right?
How much water are you adding to the putty? It looks really shiny.
There's so much water. It's literally dripping. That's what I'm talking about. That's some Dallas stuff there. And make it messy. Yeah, it's called texture. Yeah, see, it's chaos. Yeah, I like a nice black plinth. It's like a little bit elegance. And then we're gonna blend that up into our crazy Sandman mini. I got a little carried away. It's okay, sometimes we get carried away. It's like that Seal song, sometimes you get a little crazy. I think it needs more. Can you make it look like Spider-Man is the one throwing the rebar through Sandman? I mean, he is the one throwing the rebar through Sandman. But we can try to make it look more like it. That's the story. I think it's getting there. How would we make Spider-Man look like he's the one throwing the rebar? We could add webs to the rebar, right? Do a little webbing on the tips of the rebar so it looks like he slung them before Sandman caught him. I think we got a good start, Ann. I think that's all I can do today. It's 1 hour in, and I need to let all that putty dry before I do anything else. Anyways, but I think the next step will be continue refining the sand. I think it needs a little bricks, and I have some little like scale model bricks I want to add to the putty part to add like the debris. And then we'll use pumice gel to like add texture to that putty. And then I want to add a little bit more of like sand like coming off of his hand. So we'll play with that. And then it'll be all about affixing Spider-Man appropriately and turning this little venom goopy into sand sloopy. I don't know.
I liked it.
Sand sloopies. I might actually have to change that. It might have to be, I don't know. I might have to sculpt it. I don't know. But we'll have to affix Spider-Man. And then it's going to be ready to paint. So, and I think maybe we can do a little, maybe I'll try to figure out how to do like a little webbing on the ends of those rebars so it looks like he, whip, and then Sandman's like, no, and Spider-Man's like, yikes, in your eyes. Like, that's what he does. I don't know. All right. Remember, every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we hang out right here on Twitch. You just watched the Wednesday episode, and yesterday you watched the Tuesday episode. We hang out here and we talk about fun painting stuff and all that kind of jive. It's a lot of fun. And then for all the latest news, information, and announcements coming from Atomic Mass Games, which you should totally be paying attention to because there's going to be a nonstop deluge of fun stuff coming up. You can check us out on Twitter and or Instagram. That's where we post the fun stuff, the news, the information, the announcements. So check us out there. So until next week, go be a Spider-Man.
Nice.
That's my...
Go be Spider-Man.
Go be Spider-Man.
Couldn't be simpler.
Go be Spider-Man.